Earlier this week, we brought you a story about the shortage of fighter squadrons in the U.S. Air Force. While wars continue abroad, there's a second crisis hitting hard at home, a shortage of mechanics to keep the Air Force planes going. VOA's Pentagon correspondent Carla Babb has more.
Motors running. Maintainers keep the Air Force flying high. But recently, their numbers started falling to the tune of about 4,000 airmen short.
There's a strain, for sure.
The workload for a maintainer at Joint Base Langley-Eustis is relentless as they work on the F-22 Raptor jet and the T-38 Talon, a jet that's about 50 years old and needs frequent repairs.
Maybe once a day to once every other day, we'll bring back a jet that has some kind of issue that needs to get fixed by our maintenance before it can get launched back up. So even at night when we're not flying, they're working on the planes and making sure that they're ready to go for the next day.
But despite the lack of manpower, maintainers say they have a job to do.
We all understand that the whole more with less is happening, but I mean, regardless, jets have to fly. So we're going to make it happen. But yeah, there's definitely pain in that process.
I don't have any disagreement.
Back at the Pentagon, officials admit that can-do attitude has so far led to little relief.
We were living, on the edge with our maintainers for a long time, but we were able to accomplish the mission.
Lieutenant General John Cooper, who is in charge of the maintainers, has been managing a shrinking force after a series of shrinking budgets from Congress.
We were driven to the force structure that we're at last year and growing from sequestration. There's no doubt about it. That's in the history books.
Cooper and Major General Scott Vanderham, who's in charge of fixing the fighter pilot shortage, say the Air Force is no longer able to do more with less.
We owe them capacity, more people, and we owe that now as soon as we can.
Because while the maintainers are succeeding in their combat mission abroad, Cooper says the airmen are no longer able to complete their ever-important training mission.
We're paying the prices back home where we have to train our air crew for the high-end fight, for the next fight. So we're taking our lumps at home where we can't produce the sorties because of the manpower.
The Air Force hit a 3,800 maintainer shortage in 2015. A training increase was approved this year that added about 500 maintainers, but there's still a shortage of 3,300. If the Air Force budget doesn't dip, the generals say they'll be out of the maintainer manpower hole by 2021. Reporting at Langley Air Force Base, I'm Carla Babb, VOA News.